In honor of the new moon in Sagittarius, a mutable fire sign, welcome to your tower reading by the fire as day breaks. Choose your reading at minute 2:11. Pretty gorgeous. You have somewhere to be. You have somewhere to go. I'll read your oracle card. The theme of this reading is your path is before you now. Even if you sometimes lack confidence to trust in the path that you're upon, know this. You cannot miss your destiny. I shall guide your feet and inspire your heart to keep you true to your rightful divine life path. Trust me. Trust yourself. Take your journey now. And the ravens are saying hello just as we say that. I look at this reading and I sense someone who's been an adult for a very long time. I sense someone who honors and respects duty, and that it's actually brought you a lot of confidence to be that person. I think sometimes it was hard. I think you have people in your care. It could be children. It could be a team. It could be a group project. It could be anything, but you're used to having to lead, and you're used to leading even when you don't know what the answer is, and you're used to being the one who's going to find the answer. And it works out because you're smart and you're dogged and you're determined and you don't give up. And in your past, there was a kind of disappointment. Somebody let you down. So maybe you've been going it alone for a while on this path. It's interesting because it still affects you, this disappointment, but it feels like it's not in the recent past. It feels like you've been living this life for a while on your own, being the responsible one, being the one who knows. But even though it isn't recent, it's what's driving your decisions now, because there's something waking up in your soul that you need to follow. And I think it's okay. I think I need to give you permission that there is a spark waiting for you to find that's going to be incredibly nourishing in your life, that's actually going to grow circumstances and experiences and resources that you want in your life, that'll be fun, will be enlivening. But you kind of need permission to know that actually your life, you have it together. It's not going to fall apart if you start to expand the roles that you play. And it looks like you could use some community in that, because I think in your solo role, you've gotten a little too solo. And it's very comfortable, but it's like you're a robot. It's kind of like you've hit the end of what that can bring you. You need some input, some creative juice from people, or even just the world around you, just new places. And what's funny is I think you even have a place already to go. I think there's a place you go where you can sense that there are people and experiences, new things calling to you, and yet you don't. And I think you're a little judgmental at yourself for that. But I think this disappointment wound from the past, that you're like, it's that saying, better to sleep on the floor than to fall out of bed. It's like, better to expect nothing than to be disappointed. But you've kind of reached the end of that too. This feels kind of like a midlife journey. It feels like you've put in 20 years and it's time to open all the windows and doors to the house and let some fresh air in, because if not now, when? And I can feel that even saying that makes you bring more shame and criticism to yourself. Like, you know, this is what would be good to do and you're not doing it, and therefore you're shitting on yourself for not doing it. And that cycle needs to stop. That's not what's going to get you out the door. The only thing that's going to get you out the door is so much fun that you can't ignore it. Because, yeah, you need to break your routine. You need to break your routine to let that come in. So I hear myself say that, and I still feel like you could ignore it. Someone could offer you something so fun, and your routine and your obligations are going to come first to mind. Now, you're watching me, you're watching this channel. There's something in your soul that wants to play a little bit more than you're playing. There's something in your soul that asks, you know, the world is on fire. Excuse me, the smoke. The world is on fire. Just as I said that. The world is on fire. Can I ask for more? And yes, you're alive. You can ask for more for yourself. You can ask for more for things that don't damage the world, don't increase what's already gone wrong in the world. You can add to the good vibes. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And why wouldn't you want to model that for, say, the little ones that are in your care, or the people around you, the people you also see that are just letting their lives go gray? This doesn't have to be in quit your job, marry someone you met yesterday, party all night long kind of way. Like, honestly, and you know this from the life that you've led and from what you've accomplished and from what you do every day, you know that baby steps are what actually move us from A to B. So, you definitely have some homework from this reading, because you need to first break your routine. If you set your alarm for 6:07 every day, I want you to set it for 5:59, or I want you to set it for 6:13. If you drink your coffee out of the same mug every day, I want you to get a different mug. Drive a different way to work. Pick a different coffee shop. If you always go to yoga on Tuesdays, go on Saturdays. Like, bring some fresh air. And that's all you need to do in the next couple of weeks. And notice if it brought you a little joy. Notice first that it's going to make you feel uncomfortable because things are different. Maybe you're someone who really likes routine. But your soul is calling out for something else. The cards I'm getting are there's a lot of outdoor air in them. If you're enjoying watching this morning, you can do this too. You can find a way to go outside 10 minutes before the sun rises and enjoy the fresh air before your day. I think you really need to get outside, and the reason is that I want you outside of a room with 4 walls. I want you to feel the openness, the possibilities, the uncertainties, and let it begin to excite you. So that's what I have to say. You need to learn to follow your nose. And you have it. It's just hasn't been used. It's a muscle that hasn't been used in a long time. And you know what? Well done. You did your duty. You've accomplished so much. I see the work that you've done. I see where it's gotten you, and I see the care that you've given to others. And now it's time to think about yourself a little bit. So please, break your routine. Go outside, sniff the air, follow your nose. Find exciting experiences and people in small ways. And please build that over the next couple of weeks. Good morning, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So I'm going to start with the theme of your reading from the Oracle card. It's called The Strength of You. Good morning. Good morning. Are you doubting your ability to heal or recover? There is nothing that has fundamentally damaged your spirit, your will, or your heart. No matter how broken those parts of you may feel at times, they have only ever been broken to heal stronger. They have not been broken beyond repair and never will be. This is a pretty strong message that speaks to some pain in the past. But what's interesting is when I look at the reading isn't talking to me about really deep experiences of pain. What it's talking to me is about the times in our life when we stop ourselves from doing things, when we have limiting beliefs, when we carry with us the criticisms of perhaps family that brought us up or former experiences in the world, when you were trying to strut your stuff and you didn't feel received, or you felt criticized, or you felt taken down, or you felt in competition with others and felt like you were made smaller. Those are the types of experiences that this reading are actually talking to me about. And what's great about that is there really isn't an obstacle in the world. It's in here, it's in here. It's in you. And you can reparent yourself, and you can hold yourself, and you can be tender with yourself, and you can be your biggest fan. You can be the support that carries you forward into actually quite beautiful experiences, it looks like to me. It really feels like it's your moment to grow up in a big way. And I don't mean that you're necessarily a young person, you could be, but it's more like that tender child in you is really ready to grow up and take their power. And you look very powerful. You actually look like you have incredible abundance in your life, a wealth of friends. I even feel like you have access to the resources you need. And if you don't, I feel like it's really just your first step away. So I really urge you to take a look at any limiting beliefs that you have, because they're holding you back from kind of everything that you want. And it's just you being gun shy. I almost feel like it was one experience that you really need to go back to, an experience where you felt in competition, people challenged you, and it hurt. It made you shy. It made you retreat. And I actually think that the thought of competition is something that you really don't like. And that's cool. That's fine. Some people, it makes them rise to the moment. Some people, it's really not their jam. And so my advice there is that it looks like you need to find a gentle environment, a supportive environment. I think you need to be amongst people, and I think you have access to people. The cards, I see the 3 of Cups, I see the 6 of Cups, I see the 2 of Cups. I think you have some very good people around you. And I actually think that you're quite ready to be seen. Like this shyness, it really does feel like one experience that you really need to put to bed. You need to go over it and integrate it and put it to bed. I think you have some other homework. I think that you're really ready to discover your creativity, your mind. And all you really need to do is make the choice. I see the Lover's card, and in this case, I don't think it's speaking to relationships right now. I think it's speaking to the Gemini side of the card, which is that you have a choice to make. And choices can be hard. Sometimes it's difficult to make a choice because you choose one thing and the other thing is no longer possible. And I can see that one way that you're keeping yourself safe from competing in the world, quote unquote, from this going out there and going after what you want, is that if you just don't make a choice, you can live in the world where everything's possible all the time. And that way, you never actually do the thing, and you get to live in those really yummy feelings of excitement and newness. But I think that you're ready to actually take the next step and make the choice around what it is you would like to make and you would like to show the world, and you would like to take the vulnerability of bringing out into the world. And I think once you make that choice, you're going to find it pretty easy. I don't see a big road of hardship here. I see you holding yourself back from what you'd really like to do. And the minute that you go do it, it's just going to become its own engine. And you're going to find the energy and the inspiration and the people and the places and the things you need to do it. And then maybe you're going to learn about working with groups of people in a new and better way. In fact, I think that perhaps this experience you had was that collaborating in a group didn't go well in some way, and it left a really sour taste in your mouth. And I understand that, but I actually think that you're kind of made to work and collaborate in groups, and I think it's incredibly good for you. I think it's nurturing, and I think it'll nurture what you want to do. I think will make what you do in the world better because you'll incorporate the input of these really great people around you. But I think you need to learn that it's okay to have disagreement and how to process disagreement when it comes up. I think you need to look at some conflict resolution styles. One style is Marshall Rosenberg, nonviolent communication. That's a really good start. Look for people who have those skills, perhaps, to work with. So I think you're ready. I think you're ready to level up, and I think you're going to really discover the strength that you have in you to just move forward, make the thing, meet the people, and kind of enjoy the fuck out of it while you do it too. And you don't have to stay in this undecided place to enjoy newness, to enjoy the spring of whatever you're doing. You're going to find that spring and that joy by choosing the next step. Wow. You're going. You are going. Good morning, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. I'm going to read you the theme of your reading from the Oracle card. It says, be guided now. Allow yourself to be guided. The guide cannot take the steps for you, that's your job, but the guide can show you the way. It's up to you if you choose to take it, whether you tread carefully, dance, or run along that sacred pathway. Well, I look at your reading and I think you're kind of running down that path. I would say you're lit up, you know what you're doing. You're already on the path. You've already sold the house, taken the risk, jumped off. You have been on fire for a long time. And this is an incredibly healing, loving path that you're on for yourself. And I'm feeling right now that kind of energy, the energy you needed to trust, to take a leap, to make big changes that some people could find risky, that people around you could have found risky, but for you just totally made sense because you have one life. And the timing all came together and it was time for you to do this. What's interesting is that surge of adrenaline is behind you now. And now the actual healing begins because, and I don't think that I'm seeing that things in the past, like there are particularly giant things to heal. I'm not seeing tragedies and traumas in the recent past here. But you're still trying to heal something with this change in your life. And it's incredible how much energy it takes to make that change. But then you're in the quiet after the storm. And everything's changed, but nothing has arrived yet. You're in the transitional space. And here's where you need to get even quieter. Because now you have the space to listen inside. You have the space to really receive yourself. You have the space to hear all the whispers. And some of those whispers are going to be inspiring and about what's coming next. And some of those whispers are going to be doubts and about wounds from the past. Because wherever you go, there you are. But I don't say that in a negative way. I say that in a beautiful, loving, positive way. Everywhere you go, here you are. And you're ready to receive all of you, and you're ready to hear the whispers of the things that you did this in order to heal. It's really easy to want to be rewarded for this incredible jump and leap and change and all the work it took to make that change. You instantly want to see it manifesting in the world for you. And honestly, I think it's coming. I think you've made the right choice for the new foundation, for the longevity of this phase. I think it's a really good foundation. It's going to take hold and it's going to bring you the things that you're hoping for. It may take time. I think this is a slow build. But when you jumped ship, you didn't jump to a sinking one. Like, you are going to build. This is a solitary, quiet moment, though, where you have to go inside and you have to continue to build that muscle of trust. Because it's one thing to do it when it's super exciting and it's like done. But now you have to do that with every small choice, with every small action in your day, and just keep building those actions and building those actions over weeks and months and years as you lay the new foundation. Think of it as brick by brick by brick. I think you might feel a little solitary right now, and that's not the most wonderful feeling. Like, you're definitely someone who understands quiet and listening to yourself, but it could be a little lonely. It's just that feeling like after you've gone to a big party and you had an incredible time, and then, everybody's left and the streamers are sort of dangling off the walls and the echoes of the music and what happened is just floating around in your mind, and it's a little melancholy but a little delicious. It's sort of like you're metabolizing this previous version of your life. And there were beautiful things there. And now they're just echoes. And you're not quite sure what's coming. So it'd be really cozy to have some of that assurance right now of the beautiful things that are on their way. But you're meant to sit in the quiet, in the empty, in that emptiness that's so filled with possibility. And I also want to tell you that the luck that you've been experiencing in this major change that you've made, that wasn't just a fluke. Don't think that about yourself. I think you generate your own luck. And maybe you just don't have the energy in this moment in order to remember that about yourself, because you feel like, oh, now I need to be making all the connections and finding my next steps, and I need to drum up and generate that next luck. So this really risky thing that I'm doing just keeps going. But actually, I think you need a moment of quiet, and it's in your best interest to take that moment of quiet. And I think it is because you need to identify the Achilles heels in you so that they don't hinder you on this great change. You don't want to bring some of that old gunk into this new place. And by making this giant change and saying goodbye to some things, even though those things said goodbye, that Achilles heel from that time is still with you, and you need to identify it, and you need to love it up. You need to say hello. You need to welcome it to the table. You need to say, yep, you're part of this next journey, but I'm the one who makes the decisions. Here, let me hug you. Let me hold you. Come and say hello. Tell me your worries anytime. And then I'm going to tuck you into bed, and I'm going to go about on this new life. I'm going to do what I need to do. So don't mistake the quiet for mistakes, for things not coming. This is a sacred quiet for you, and you deserve it. And it's actually quite special, and it won't come again, because your busy, fruitful life is coming. So rest up and take care of yourself.